I'm Melvin Hayes. Welcome to Island Chill Yacht Charters. We're proud to be an official Chesapeake-based storyteller from the National Park Service and the Maryland Department of Tourism. Join us as our flagship powerboat Irie Vibes takes you to a very special place on the banks of the South River, just 4 miles south of Annapolis. We'll cruise past all the fancy houses, avoid all the zooming powerboats. Let's take time to chill. And let's turn back the clock. Return not just to a time of sail and exploration, but back to ideas of revolution, the birth of our nation and the foundation of American democracy. We've arrived at anchor. Now let's meet the people who are our history. The South River has been populated by the Chesapeake's native people for the past 10,000 years, since the end of the Ice Age and the formation of the Chesapeake Bay, in fact. Thousands of family groups and tribes lived along its shores. But the South River would transform yet again following Captain Smith's voyages out of Jamestown in the summer of 1608. Instead of the Northwest Passage, Smith realized the richness of the Chesapeake and passed the news on to the British colonialists. A new migration began. After the founding of Maryland in 1632, London Town was established on the banks of the South River in 1683. By the 1700s, London Town was a critical tobacco trading port, full of British ships with import goods, but also soldiers and sailors sent by King George to rule the American colony, but not for long. Back then, London Town had become the site of a ferry across the South River on the road between Charleston, Richmond, and Annapolis, northwards to Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. London Town's residents exchanged ideas as whispers of revolution with all those who would listen. Soon, the sound of freedom grew into urgent cries for a declaration of independence. Change was coming. By then, William Brown had built a family house on the banks of the South River in 1760 and operated it as a hotel and tavern. He ran the South River Ferry. The site of the ferry is just to the left of the house. It was manned by African slaves and indentured British criminals, and it carried George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Francis Scott Key to Ferry Point on the other side of the South River. Now, picture yourself on the ferry. You can hear these great men talk about a Declaration of Independence and listen to the people of London Town on what it would mean to them. They contributed ideas too, I imagine. I would. By 1776 it happened. No longer would there be tyranny over the mind of man by an oppressive monarchy. London Town celebrated the victory. When George Washington resigned his commission in Annapolis in December 1773, he was escorted here to the South River by the governor of Maryland. He crossed the river and stayed overnight in the William Brown house. The next day he retired to his Mount Vernon home. The call to become our first president came in 1789. He may have crossed over the South River Ferry then, too. Island Chill Yacht Charters and our storyteller subsidiary, Chesapeake Bay Yacht Charters, have many exciting Chesapeake journeys to offer. Please join us.